What's up? Today we're going to be doing the CSGO knife tier list. It's been an idea I've had floating around for a little bit. Haven't gotten around to it, but let's do it now. Here we go. Alright, so we're just going to knock these out in order. First up, we got the stiletto knife. Whoops. This bad boy right here. It's a solid knife. Here, let me show you in game. So here's a knife right here. A lot of people consider it a toothpick, which I could see why. It's a solid blade. Like this inspect animation, it's clean. The pull-out animation is pretty nice too, and it does have one special animation. If we can get it here, here we go. Okay, so that's it right there. I mean, it can look sort of cool. Like let's say you change guns, and you toss it up like that. Only problem is it's not like an all-the-time animation. Because I like that animation in my opinion. Like the basic inspect, it's cool. I'm going to probably have to give this stiletto a... I think I'm going to give this stiletto a C for now. I mean, it's subject to change. We're going to put it in the C category at the moment. Next up. Ooh, we got the Ursus. Oh, this thing's beautiful. Now, keep in mind, this entire list is just my opinion. I love the Ursus, okay? I really do. Here, I'll show you guys the Ursus in game too and a little bit about it. So here's the Ursus right here. I like the squareness of the blade. Some people hate it, it looks like a box cutter. I really enjoy the Ursus. Here in about a day or two, I'm actually going to be getting an Ursus slaughter myself. So, oh, there we go. There's the special inspect of the Ursus. Deserves a chef's kiss. Just a great animation here. It's got a special pull-out animation right there. Little sounds amazing. It's just a clean knife in my opinion. It's got a nice, perfect-sized blade. The handle looks great. Like you could reach through the screen, and just feel the grip on that bad boy. I love the Ursus. I think I'm gonna have to give the Ursus an A. There we go. Next up on the list, we have the Huntsman. This is a rough knife to judge. See, I like the Huntsman. I do. Like the pull-out animation, you're offing or you're shooting, you switch to the Huntsman just real quick. It's got a quick draw animation. It's clean. It is really clean. There's that right there. See, one of the larger problems I have with it, look at my thumb. It's not touching the knife. Now that really takes away some of the value for me. It's a good knife. It's a good knife. I'm gonna probably have to give the Huntsman a B. These are all subject to change. After the tier list is done, we can always go back and switch a few things up. Next up, the Bowie. See, when I was a newer player and it's a cheaper knife, okay? I used to like the Bowie. The reason I used to like the Bowie is because it has a larger blade, and this inspect animation is really cool. But do you notice something missing? Because I do. My hand. You literally cannot see your left hand, or right, however you play, but you literally cannot see one of your hands when you have this knife. And if you have gloves like I do, man, I want to see my gloves. I didn't buy these gloves for nothing. And when you're walking around just the one hand out, I don't know, I think it looks sort of goofy, okay? But the knife itself's pretty solid. I think we're going to have to give the Bowie a C. We're going to put it in the D tier, actually. Because I like the stiletto better. This is going on the D for now. We can change it, obviously. But, if I could just see both hands, it might be different. Next up, the skeleton knife. Now, this one's a pretty big favorite of a lot of players. I mean, a lot of people love the skeleton knife. I've had one before. It's clean. It's clean. It is definitely clean. It doesn't have an obnoxious sound. It's got a nice sound. Compared to the butterfly knife, I've heard a lot of people say, oh, I hate the sound of the butterfly knife, but I love the skeleton knife sound, which I could see that. Like when you do the animations here, you don't hear a little metallic, parts moving noise like you would in the butterfly knife, which I will say I do like about this knife. It, I do have a couple gripes about this. I don't really like the handle that much. I'm sorry. I just don't really like the handle too much. The animations are pretty cool, though. It's got a special pull-out animation, if we can get it. There we go. And then it also has some other inspect animations, too. It's nice. Skeleton knife in the B+, A-, however you look at it. Half glass empty, half glass full. Next up, the karambit. Now, people love this knife. I like this knife. I wouldn't say I love it, though. It's nice. I really just wish the karambit had a special inspect animation, like the Talon knife, per se. I mean, yes, you can, like, do this with it. It's cool. But honestly, on a hot take, I'm a Talon knife enjoyer, okay? I know. I'm a Talon knife enjoyer. The handle of the karambit, it's clean. The blade of the karambit, it's clean. Now, yes, the Talon knife blade's questionable. And so is the handle on some skins. But the Talon knife's got that special animation where you can just keep spinning it, you know? I'm going to probably have to give this one a... We're going to give it an A. There's nothing wrong with the karambit. You can't go wrong with the karambit. It's a solid knife all around. I wouldn't put it any lower than that. Next up, the fabled Navaja knife. Everybody loves this thing. Wow, look at that. So here it is, the Navaja. It's got a small blade. It's an interesting blade. You like actually open the blade, sort of similar to the falchion, but I think the falchion's probably nicer. So I will give this knife props on one thing. Look at the handle. Look at that. It's all shiny. It looks like it'd be like marble or some sort of rock, which I really do enjoy. But that's all I can really say about this knife. Besides that, it is better than at least one or two knives in my opinion. I think we're going to have to put this one in par with the Bowie knife. So it's going to belong in the D tier, right in its rightful place. I know some people will be pretty surprised by that, but I have some other varying opinions. Next up, the flip knife. So here it is, right here in my hand. It's nice. I mean, I can't really say anything bad about it. Now, I do wish it had a special inspect, but I'll pretty much sit with every knife. I really do enjoy knives with special inspects. The pull-out animation on the flip knife is great. Let's say you're opping, or you get some sick kills. Look at that. That's clean. If you have like a Doppler skin on this, like a Phase 2 Doppler, I like it. Would I rock a flip knife normally? If I could pick some other knives? Definitely not. I think this probably belongs in the B tier. There we go. The next knife on our list is the falchion. There it is. The one everybody knows and loves. This was actually the first knife I ever unboxed. It was a minimal wear Crimson Web falchion. I used to be a big falchion enjoyer. Until I wasn't. Here's it in hand. A little bit of a cool inspect. You spin it around. You inspect it. I just don't really like it. It reminds me too much of like a pocket knife, like somebody's granddad would give them. Like, oh, here, Billy, let's go hunting. Here's my old pocket knife from the 1930s. Like, if you like that kind of aesthetic, all the power to you. I'm just not a huge fan of it. It's a cheaper knife. Yes, it's an okay cheaper knife. Once you start putting skins on this thing, it gets very questionable because the handle gets a lot of the skin too. I don't think that was the move on Valve's part, was to give the handle skin. Okay. But I think I'm going to probably have to put this in par with the Bowie knife in the D tier. And there it goes. Perfect. Next up, we have the paracord knife. It's one of the newer knives. Here it is in hand. It's a pretty nice knife. It's good. I wouldn't really say budget. It's good mid-range, okay? It's got some cool animations. There we go. That's the pull-out animation. Well, the special pull-out animation. It's got 2 inspects too. Here's the first one, the more common one. And then, let's see if we can get the second one. Here it is. You know, it tosses it around. You can see all the sides of the knife. It's clean. Actually, I actually have a paracord knife right now. Here's mine. It's a field-tested slaughter. It's all right. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's a transitional knife. Like I said, in about 2 days, I'm getting an Ursus slaughter. It's a fine knife. You know, I like it, but I wouldn't buy this knife as my first choice. I think this belongs in C plus, B minus. There we go. Now, we got the survival knife. This one's pretty controversial. A lot of people hate this knife because of the handle. I don't have a problem with the handle, to be honest. I like this knife a decent bit, actually. So here it is in hand. It's got a lot of things in it. It's got like a notch at the top, a line through the middle. It's got a serrated part at the bottom. I like the inspect, how he like sort of pinches the knife. Here's a couple of the inspects right there. And then, the crown jewel of this knife, in my opinion, is one of the pull-out animations. We'll get it here in a second. There it is. Look at that. That is pretty cool. I really do enjoy that. Like, look at that. You pair it with that little, like, when you toss it up with that. That's clean. I really like that. I think I'm going to have to probably give this knife a B. There we go. Now, I know a lot of tier lists don't do this, but I do this because, you know, it still's a knife. There we go. The basic knives. You guys have all seen these in game. I'm going to go over these ones pretty quickly. I hate the T-knife. You know why? This little dinky wooden grip. I feel like it would just fall off. It looks cheap. This knife, whoops, belongs in the E tier. I know, it's sort of a hot take, right? The CT knife, I'm gonna give this an E+. Okay, E+. We'll put it right there. I know, people are like, yo, what? You're putting that above the lowest tier? Yes, you'll see why in a second. And we're coming to it right now, actually. There it is. The shadow daggers, the fabled plugs, as a lot of people call them. Yeah, let me show you these things in game. So here they are in hand, okay? You know, it's a cool little gimmick. You have 2 knives. Yeah, that's great. Until it's not. Watch this. Watch my crosshair closely. Did you see that? Watch my screen, too. The whole thing moves. Dude, you know, I'm PvPing. Boom. Like, it would throw me off so hard to have just a little bit of a movement right there for taking out these knives. And look at the blades. They're small. I hate these things. I hate these push daggers, okay? I've never met a person who loves these things to death. Oh, yeah, they're my favorite knife. Never. Never. I'm putting these in the E tier. Boom. Now, we have the bayonet. I'm sort of a bayonet enjoyer, I'm not gonna lie. There it is. Look at this beast. You know, it's got the plain inspect, but that's okay, because watch this. Did you see that? Because I know I did. I love that animation where, like, flips it a little bit. Like, let's do this again. Look at that. That's clean. That's beautiful. You can't go wrong with this pull-out animation. You know, some people do complain about it because, let's say you're offing, you know. You're shooting real quick. You don't have time to see the whole animation because you'll just do that. But either way, I still love this knife. I'm putting this in the S tier. I know. Hot take. Next up, the M9 bayonet. I also very much love this knife. I used to actually own a Phase 2 Doppler M9 bayonet. And what if I told you? That was a favorite knife I ever owned. So, it's very similar to the bayonet. Just a larger blade, which I like very much. The pull-out animation, needless to say, peak. Peak. You know, it's a little bit quicker than the normal bayonet. It's just great. Once again, plain inspect. The one complaint I do have, look at my thumb. It is phasing through that. If that didn't happen, there would be nothing wrong with this. But either way, I'm giving this S tier. Boom. Alright, we're getting pretty close to the end now. So this next knife we're going to look at is going to be absolute peak, guys. Trust me. The gut knife. If you couldn't tell, I was joking. I hate this knife. Here it is in hand. You see that little hook at the top up there? No, that's not it. I don't like this. That hook is huge. And look at this little this wooden grip. Bro, it looks like the same wood you'd make in a Yoka pistol out of in rust. It looks cheap. I mean, yes, the knife is cheap. But look at this thing. This thing's vile. The only good thing it has going for it is it's got the same pullout as Huntsman. Oh yeah, there you go. That's cool. But look at the knife, dude. You totally forget about the animation. You see that wooden grip come up and that hook at the top? Nah. This belongs in the lowest tier possible. I'm putting this in the E tier. Alright. You see this? The Talon knife. There it is. I've had a few of these things in my day. I like the Talon knife. You know, the sound it makes, less than optimal. But watch this. There it is. Amazing. You know, back when I used to work at Best Buy, I used to have keys, okay? And guess what I did with my keys? Whenever I had free time, I would spin my keys just like that. And it would make a very similar sound. It's just a fun thing to do. If you ever have like a keychain or you just have something in general, just spin it with your finger. It's great. Great way to pass time. And that's one reason I love this knife, as stupid as it is. It's something I would do, is spin the knife in a circle like that. And the next thing, the handle goes really good with some skins. In my opinion, this handle with a black pearl Doppler, that is amazing. It does have a few complaints, like the designs on the handle, the 3 holes in the blade, but besides that, it's good. I'm going to have to give this an A. Now, we have the Nomad knife. Once again, a newer knife from a newer collection. Let me show you this in game. Here it is. You know, it doesn't look too special yet, but watch this. Bro, did you see that? He just hurt his hand. I like this knife because it gives you character, you know? It's like your guy can actually feel pain. It makes it seem more lifelike. And it's just sort of a funny pull-out animation. Now, it's got some cool specs too. Look at that. Like if you have a blue gem or something, you could, that animation works perfect on a blue gem. Or there's many different skins, but preferably a blue gem. It's a nice knife. I'd probably rate it about the same as a survival knife though. So naturally, this goes in the B tier. Almost last, but not least, the long anticipated butterfly knife. There it is. Watch this. The inspecs are pretty cool. The blade's alright. It's a little small, yes, but it's clean. I like the handles, sort of. It's got multiple different animations. The sound's sort of loud, but it's alright. I'm gonna probably have to give this knife an S-. I know. Dislike the video, comment as much as you want. I'm not giving the butterfly knife an S, because in my opinion, this is my opinion, don't forget, the bayonets are just better. I do like the butterfly knife though, it's clean. But like, if it was between a butterfly ruby or an M9 ruby, I'm picking that M9 all day. And last, but not least, the classic knife, straight out of the older CS games. Let's get into it. Here it is. I think they did a great job embodying what it used to look like. You know, it's got a cool idle animation, which none of the other knives have, of my knowing at least. Nice pull-out animation, plain inspect. Oh yeah, I forgot about this one. You can toss it up, but it also does have a plain inspect too. I've not had a classic knife in a minute. You know, I think the classic knife was a knife for a different time and for a different game. Bringing it to CSGO, you know, that's cool for the veterans and stuff like that. This doesn't really fit the game very well, and like the way it wears is really stupid, because a lot of the skins go over like that, the side of the blade right there, and you have to get like a field tested to see it, and it looks not great. I'm gonna probably have to give this I'm gonna give this a C. So right there's my knife tier list. Feel free to screenshot, share, do whatever you gotta do. Depending on how this does, I'm gonna probably do a knife skin video where I rate the skins, in my opinion. If you guys like this content, or just like me, or the video in general, leave a like, comment, share. Please subscribe. You know, I'm really trying to get back into making YouTube videos. It's been a minute. I'm sorry, guys. But I really enjoyed doing this. Yeah. Peace.